Sit back and let me tell you a story of a Mafia hit so perfectly executed that 70 years later, we have a perfect description of the killer, 15 eyewitnesses, and yet there's still no arrests. This is the story of the murder of Wolf Rimann. Wolf Rimann was 43 years old and living the high life, but he was a marked man. He had been warned. Perhaps he thought he was too powerful in Kansas City to be taken out so easily, but he was wrong. Wolf Rimann was the deputy sheriff in Jackson County, but he was neck-deep in corruption, and he thrived at it. Rimann was a golf professional and a manager at the Hillcrest Country Club. He also owned the Western Specialty Company, which supplied jukeboxes and pinball machines to area businesses. Rimann was known to slip a few strategically placed slot machines in as well. It was a well-known fact that Rimann would use his badge to even force tavern owners to install the illegal slot machines. If the bar owner refused, Rimann would decide to enforce the county's dry laws and shut their bar down. At one point, there were 4 other officers on Rimann's payroll for this sole purpose. The local Mafia kingpin, John Blondo, had exclusive rights to the Shinley liquor products and was making a boatload of money on the deal. Rimann decided he wanted a piece of the action and bypassed Blondo. He went directly to New York and was given permission to sell Shinley liquor. This obviously upset Blondo, so he sent word for Rimann to back off, but Rimann refused and continued to stock a warehouse full of the product. On March 24, 1949, Wolf Rimann was walking towards his car on the corner of 14th and Chestnut when a black Ford peeled around the corner. One man stepped out and stood as a sentry. Another man stepped out, firing a pistol. Rimann was riddled with bullets as he opened his car door. He slumped across the front seat of his car as the shooter approached. The hitman's final bullet met its mark in Rimann's skull. Then the killer did something very odd. He turned and looked at the factory windows, full of witnesses, exposing his uncovered face to the crowd. If this were a Hollywood film, he probably would have tipped his hat. After the strange moment passed, the 2 men jogged back to the car and raced away. The getaway car was found 10 blocks north of the crime scene. The vehicle was traced back to St. Louis car dealership. It was recently purchased by an Italian man claiming to be from Denver. He paid with cash and asked to borrow a couple of license plates. The mysterious Italian was never found. After his death, Rimann's illegal activities came to light and exposed how deep the corruption had become in Kansas City. Although his case was never officially solved, the Kansas City Crime Commission was formed because of the murder of Wolf Rimann. Everyone knows the mob killed Rimann, but the triggerman was never found, and the crime boss of Kansas City was never convicted of the hit. To this day, Wolf Rimann is classed as a cold case. They have shell casings, they have 15 witnesses, they have a perfect description of the killer. They know who got the getaway car, they know where the getaway car ended up, they have forensic evidence, and yet it still remains cold. What do you think? Do you think this case will ever be solved? I'm beginning to doubt it. Nobody wants to take on the mob, not even today.